What's up, dude?
I am here this afternoon for a few reasons. One, my love of the Blake family.
Thank you.
I'm also here because I believe in justice for all. I'm here because I don't believe that we need vigilantes to come and do the job of law enforcement. We don't need individuals to come from other places in our nation to descend on Kenosha, or for that matter, any other place. What we need is for individuals to respect the system, respect law enforcement, and when that doesn't happen and we get what Mr. Rittenhouse came to do, an adult, because 18 is an adult, what he came to do, it is not right. And I'm just gonna say that if Mr. Rittenhouse was like my son,
Listen.
it would be different. Mr. Rittenhouse came with a rifle. He said he came to clean graffiti.
Yeah, right.
He didn't come with brushes and solution to clean graffiti.
Come on.
My son had a turkey, frozen turkey, taking it to a neighbor.
Come on.
And what he experienced is not right compared to what Mr. Rittenhouse has been able to do. So I'm here today to say that we need a system that gives justice for all. In a state where mass incarceration, we leave, where the disparities for black and brown people are real, it is important that we stand to say that we want what is right in the system. Any questions?
Have you been watching the trial, and if so, what are your thoughts on it?
I have been watching the trial. I find many things as a lawyer by profession, I find many things to be concerning. Everything from the words that were used by counsel in the courtroom to choices that the judge has allowed to make. But probably one of the most challenging things that I saw was the dismissal of the gun charge. The things that basically paved the way to say that he wasn't doing criminal activity while he was here. Those are concerning for me, but I still believe and have some hope that the system will be just and fair. But I want to be clear that it often is not for people who look like me. And based on a report in 2005 for the judges in the state of Wisconsin, we already know that there was a report to show that there's disparity in sentencing in the state of Wisconsin. We already know that there's a disparity in representation on the bench, in prosecutors, even in defense lawyers, even in everybody that's in the courtroom. So not only have I been watching it, but you're talking to somebody who's been in the courtrooms, practicing as a lawyer, who decided to really, for all intents and purposes, stop practicing law so that I could go and be a legislator to help change law because we needed change.
Senator, one question. What is your stance on Schrader with the current trial that's been happening? People are saying that he is favoring Kyle Rittenhouse, and what is your stance and your perspective on that?
I'm saying that based on some of the decisions that I've seen that's happened within the court, it does to me lean towards a level what feels like bias, especially, and I mentioned the dismissal of the gun charge. As a defense attorney, I can't tell you how many times getting a gun charge was just not going to get dismissed. And not only not get dismissed, when it's somebody that looked like me, I hardly have ever seen it. So this is very unusual. Any other? Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Also, can you tell us a little bit about the judge, a resigning judge, letting a person that killed two individuals, also critically injuring another, stand behind the judge? Have you ever seen that before, a resigning judge?
Say it one more time, I'm sorry.
Have you ever seen a judge allow an individual who killed two people and also injured another one critically stand behind him? Have you ever seen that happen before?
I have not. Neither can I say that I've seen someone have the opportunity to pick who the alternative would be in the jury.
Yes.
But I respect the judge says that he's done that for 20 years and why he said he did that. I respect that. I'm just telling you I've not seen it.
Senator, one last question.
Someone over here had one, I thought. Okay, that's okay.
One last question. A lot of folks the past few days have been calling on Schrader to resign. What is your perspective and your take on that?
He's an elected person, no different than I. And I don't anticipate that he will resign. I don't anticipate that he would be recalled. And very candidly, I think he'll be reelected again. But the truth of the matter is, you know, the issue is greater than one judge. The issue is an entire state that has reports that show that there has been bias in sentencing and bias on our benches. There is so much in this state that reflects our need to deal with equity, to deal with diversity and inclusion in a different way. What can I say? We lead in the nation in mass incarceration, the worst place to raise a black child and be a black American. Now, we good people in Wisconsin. But it just doesn't mean that things are always fair and that equality is always there.
One last question. As we've seen all over the media reports of past court appearances with people who are going through the trial appearances, there's a controversial issue. I'm looking for your just statement on this about Mr. Rittenhouse pulling the ticket from the barrel. Normally, the judge has others pull from the barrel.
I spoke to that. I said that was unusual. I had not seen it before.
Never seen it before.
Got a question that was asked us the other day.
I've talked to a couple people who are afraid that there might be rioting depending on the verdict tonight. Will you condemn that?
So let me start by saying, number one, people have the right to assemble. They have the right to protest. And what I want to say more than anything is that I hope that no one does things that creates damage or that no one does things to hurt other individuals. But what I do know is that when people are totally frustrated and feel completely helpless and unheard, that Martin Luther King spoke, that rioting is the voice of the unheard. And so what I hope that we will do is to figure out how, as a state, as a nation, that we can begin to hear those individuals that have been voiceless across our nation. That's what I hope more than anything, so that people do not have to resort to those actions and that language.
Senator Taylor, there has been some, kind of controversy when you have some supporters of Rittenhouse and going against Black Lives Matter supporters who say that this isn't a case that has anything to do with race. And you've given some examples of your son's personal experience and the reports that exist about disparities. Do you have anything to add to the people who say this has nothing to do with race?
I know it's very hard to see through somebody else's lenses. You have glasses on. I wear glasses. If I was trying to read right now, I wouldn't be able to see it as well. I have to put on my glasses in order to be able to see more clearly. It's very difficult to understand a perspective if you don't even want to see it. If you believe that the lenses have no value, if you believe that they bring nothing to you. I respect in a state where we don't even make up 10% of the population that people do not always understand. But what I can say is that, do what Jesus would do. Try to walk in someone else's shoes, try to see someone else's perspective. And I promise that if you do that, that you more than likely will understand better. I will tell you as a mother who is a senator, who is a lawyer, that the moment that my son was stopped for taking a turkey to a neighbor on the day that the police were also giving away food, it was devastating. When I got a call at 1 o'clock in the morning and my brother was driving home from work and stopped on the freeway, I was afraid for his life. I literally got up out my bed and drove. It's difficult to understand if you've not had to experience that. If all you've ever had were positive experiences and everyone that you know has had a positive experience with the police, because you don't see it through my lens. But my lenses are real. My lenses are real. The experience is true. And the truth of the matter is that we're all in this together. And I would hope for better unity and better understanding. But some people just don't even want to get there. You can take a horse to water, sis, but you can't make them drink.
We just want to say thank you for the Blake family. I got one question asked to us the other day, and I want to hear how you would answer it. They were talking about the critical thought theory and all that. And they said, what would we like to see? We responded by saying, I'd like to see a correct history of this nation that was all inclusive. A correct history.
So the first thing I want to say about critical race theory is that that's a legal theory. That's something that lawyers do. It's not what's happening in our schools. It's not what's happening in that regard. But what I will say is that as a Christian, the truth is the truth. And so I don't know why we can't teach the truth, we can't stand on the truth, and we can't embrace the truth, because one of the things I learned is that when you embrace the truth, it just helps in the process of making things better. It does not mean that saying the truth does not mean, you know, the fact that African Americans were enslaved at one point in this nation, it does not mean that she did it or he did it. It means that it happened.
That's right, fact.
And it does not mean that we can't grow from there, but some people don't even want to acknowledge the truth. It doesn't mean because I say I want an Indigenous People Day instead of Columbus Day, Christopher Columbus Day, it doesn't mean that I'm hating on Christopher Columbus. I'm just saying he didn't discover America and he was a murderer and a rapist, and we should instead recognize the indigenous people. History, you know, it doesn't mean because we embrace history that it says that one person or another in today's time are horrific. That's not what it says. It just says that we embrace what our history was and what the truth is.
That's right.
That's it. That's it.
Blake
Thank you
family
so much.
loves you.
Love you back.
Kenosha Locke loves you, and thank you for staying to come stay.
Always, always.
Love,
I wish I could stay with you longer, but I've got to go and have a talk with the secretary about something else. So, all right, now have a good day.
Yes. Hey, we're the Revolution Club. That's information.
All right, thank you so much.
Is the car back?
Lena, Lena Taylor, Taylor, State Senator of the 4th Senate District. Lena, Lena Taylor, Taylor. Thank you.